All right, welcome back. Live streaming from Metabolic Health Summit 2022. We've had a number of interviews with speakers and attendees and influencers, and I was lucky enough to run into this guy, Thomas Delauer. So thanks so much for joining us. How's your experience been so far at MHS?
It's awesome, man. It's nice to be able to be back around people and a lot of old friends, and definitely much bigger than I was expecting it to be. It's amazing how much this has grown in the last few years, because I think it's been 3 years since I've been to a metabolic health event. So it's this is amazing how much it's grown and just how well put together it is. And the location is just, the beach is right there. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. So yeah.
So we were just talking a little bit about camera setups and studio setups, and it's clear your production quality of your videos is outstanding, and the content is outstanding. So I don't know what question I'm trying to ask, but how much time and thought and energy really goes into making these high quality productions that you're doing?
Yeah, a lot. Once you get it on as a system, it's not too bad. But just like everything, you have to kind of always stay one step ahead, which is literally we were just talking about. We're kind of walking around seeing what people are shooting on, what they're using, and okay, where do we upgrade to next? What are we doing? Because it's in my opinion, in the world of content, it's if you want to stand out, even though people say just get the content out there, it's I feel production value is important. It's what I've always been about. And I attribute a lot of the growth of my channel to putting a lot of thought into production value in the beginning. Yeah. So, so a lot of work goes into it, and it's definitely something, but I encourage people to invest in that, because you have to stand out some way. You can't, but.
And it's not just the production, it's the content itself. And
sure.
Clearly you put so much time into that. So what are some of the things you're most excited about right now on the front of metabolic health?
I'm really interested in a lot of the BFR kind of stuff, lactate training, things like that. That's really been my interest in the last year or so. Just really,
so blood flow restriction,
but just lactate as a signaling device in general. I've just become fascinated with that. Very interested in just further fat adaptation outside of just a ketogenic protocol. I've been working with a lot of military applications and stuff like that. So working with special operations has kind of opened my eyes to being okay, we can't have everyone doing keto all the time. How do we get some of the similar benefits without necessarily doing that? And so man, it's awesome. The future is just really cool. A lot more of my content has been geared towards longevity and things like that now, just because I feel that's my audience is growing older with me, right? And it's things that are, as I have kids and I'm starting to be more aware of that stuff and being, okay, it's less about just how I perform in the gym all the time and more about, okay, how can I be around for a long time? So my channel is just a reflection of kind of what I get interested in. And people notice that there's always these spurts of, oh, wow, he's talking about longevity a lot. Well, that's just because I get super interested in it. So I start going down that rabbit hole. And
so that's an interesting point about talking about performance in the gym versus longevity. And I hope this doesn't come across as rude, but looking at you, I think a lot of people would be forget that. I'm never going to look like that guy. I can't do that. It could be a little intimidating.
For sure.
But you're saying, it's not about that. So how do you break down that barrier to show people, kind of that they can do this too?
Yeah. I think connection is super important, right? So being able to, you can inspire people to do a lot of things if you just build the right connection. That's really what it is. That's, I guess, to even go back to the previous question, what I am most excited about is the brain, right? That's where things are going, and that's where a lot of my work is going. And being able to, so on that same note, when you can connect with someone and you can really make the right things tick in the brain, a lot of things are possible. And I think that it may look unattainable for a certain thing, but it's also not about the look. It's all about how you can perform, and the looks come secondary to that, So it's if you feel good and you're performing well, then generally speaking, you start to look the part later on, and it's just par for the course. It takes time.
Very good. Very cool. That's a great perspective. Well, thank you for taking the time and talking with us today. And I'm glad I ran into you. So you never know who you're going to meet at MHS 202022. So it's awesome.
Cool.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
All right. You're good. And now we've got Lucia Aronica coming up, who happens to be standing right over there. So are we still rolling? We still live?